Here's an update for Weston's model WIKISPEED car. So as you can see, the frame is together. It's not quite square yet. We got a little bit of work to do on there, but it's bolted together. It's quite strong. And I don't really expect there to be any deflection until I get into about the 500 to 1,000 pounds of force on each joint. The steering is comes out of what I'm calling an old guy scooter. No offense. It's just the linkage is going to have to be extended in here, and then probably cut these and spread them out so that they fit outboard of the frame or the way they're supposed to. So I'm probably going to be adding a foot kind of thing. I'll probably use the bearings and the grease nipples and stuff that's on here just because it's easier. I don't know whether I'm going to use these wheels or not. I was planning to use larger wheels to give it a little bit higher ground clearance. The rear axle similarly is not wide enough, so this part will fit into the electric motor module. The electric motor module is not intended to be a structural support for the car, so I've got to come up with a way to get these brackets mounted to this frame, and then I have to extend the 18 millimeter diameter shafts with the keyways out to the wheels that I'm using. I may actually use these, but that's not going to give me very much ground clearance. We're looking at about 3 inches maybe, which simply isn't enough. This vehicle's long enough that it'll get hung up if I have that little ground clearance. So that's where we are right now. The suspension, the cab for the suspension, the last of the suspension plates that were water jet cut. I have a file, so I'm going to try and scale them down, and I'm just going to be using plywood. There's going to be a suspension module here, 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 and here. The parts that fit onto the suspension module are a little bit more interesting. There's a shock absorber, there's a couple of brackets, and there's supports of all sorts. I'm probably going to simplify it a bit, put a couple of piano hinges in, and get something working, and see if I need to change it. I'll be scrounging in the junkyards and in the salvage dealers, seeing if I can find shock absorbers that are about that tall, because that's about all the room I've got. In addition to the frame, we got the electric motor module. I've got the tubing for that. I'll get that put together hopefully this next week. And then we get to the carbon fiber part that I was kind of worried about. I need to get some carbon fiber in here as a bay where Weston and possibly one buddy can sit down and work the pedals and stuff like that. There is no, so far, there is no brake. I've got an accelerator. Looking for a steering wheel and linkage. I've got a couple of ideas there. Linkage is going to connect up to here. The brakes, if I use the carry-all hubs, the brakes are kind of built into the hubs, which is kind of one of the reasons I want to use it, besides the fact that they're larger and I get more ground clearance. And I guess at that point we get on to the crush structure, which is going to be a 4-inch tube, back, sides, and front. I'm going to make it look a little bit more like bumpers than crush structure. And then the really challenging part, the body, is carbon fiber, or maybe I'll have to do fiberglass because I don't know how to do the carbon fiber and I can't seem to find anybody to sell me anything. At that point, There'll be a big paper mache kind of form, and I'll be laying the fiberglass or the carbon fiber on top of that in layers, painting on the, it's not called hardener and for carbon fiber, I think it's epoxy. Anyway, that's the plan, but the frame is here. It took, all these joints took way more time than they were supposed to, and we have something to see, and I have something to touch and show my wife that I'm actually doing something, not just playing around in the garage.